For Moraine, earning the shawl of a full Aes Sedai should be the ultimate victory. After years of training, she is finally a sister of the Blue Aja, wielding the authority of the White Tower. But the rank comes with immediate, suffocating weight. She is bound by ancient protocols, centuries-old rivalries between the Aja, and intense internal scrutiny that makes her trainee days look like freedom. The political reality is even more dangerous. As this diagram shows, her family's wealth isn't just sitting in a vault, it's being mapped. Spies are tracking every coin she spends, looking for any excuse to force her onto the Sun Throne of Cairhien. Moraine knows that accepting that crown would be a death sentence for her real mission. She is haunted by visions of an infant born in the snow, a prophesied child she has sworn to find before the Shadow does. She is caught in a direct conflict of interest. The White Tower wants her as a royal figurehead to expand their influence, while Moiraine needs to be a ghost in the wilderness to complete her hunt. Hundreds of miles to the north, Lan Mandragoran is walking into a mirrored version of that same trap. When he arrives at the gates of Canlume with his mentor Bukama, he is instantly recognized. Despite his travel-worn clothes, the guards see him for who he is, the uncrowned king of the fallen nation of Malkir. The local nobility immediately begins circling, expecting Lan to play the part of a High Lord, inviting him to banquets and ceremonies that would tie him to their courts and their politics. Whether in a palace or a fortress, the world is trying to solve these two heroes by putting a crown on their heads and keeping them where they can be seen. The precarious balance in the White Tower shatters when the Amyrlin seat dies unexpectedly. The sudden power vacuum turns the tower into a den of suspicion. The new leader, Sieran Value, is a hardliner who rules through public whippings. She immediately restricts Moraine's movements, ordering her to stay in the city where she can be watched. Moraine realizes she can't fight this crackdown with force. Instead, she uses her reputation as a wealthy noble to hide her true intentions. She starts by creating a massive public paper trail. This ledger shows her ordering 20 elaborate, expensive silk dresses. To anyone watching this record, it looks like Moraine is settling in for a long, comfortable life in the city. But while the spies focus on her wardrobe, Moraine is quietly liquidating her actual fortune. She converts her massive holdings into these compact, portable letters of credit, wealth that can be carried in a pocket and spent anywhere in the world, completely invisible to the tower's accountants. By performing the role of the shallow noble perfectly, she provides her enemies with the distraction they expect while she prepares her exit. In the north, Lan has to deal with a much more explosive form of pride. His mentor, Bukama, is reaching his breaking point with the Kandori guards. Bukama sees the lack of respect for a Malkirian king as an insult to their dead nation. His hand tightens on his sword hilt, ready to start a fight that would get them both imprisoned or killed. Lan knows that if they draw blood here, their anonymity is gone. He has to choose between asserting his royal honor or staying free to pursue his war. Lan chooses humility. He swears a binding oath of peace to the guards, effectively suppressing his own royal status to keep the peace and stay mobile. Both characters win their freedom by using their enemies' expectations as a shield, choosing to be underestimated rather than acknowledged. Moraine makes her move. She ignores the Amyrlin's direct command to stay in the city and smuggles herself and her horse onto the fastest boat leaving the North Harbor. But the spies haven't lost her. A scarred man, an assassin named Gorthanes, watches from the docks. He knows exactly which boat she took. Moiraine has abandoned the safety of the tower, knowing if caught now, she faces the same public whippings she witnessed in the courtyard. Lan also turns his back on the city, ignoring the invitations to banquets and warm beds, turning his horse toward the corrupted northern borderlands. He is heading toward the Blight, a region where the Shadow's dark influence is physically rotting the landscape. This is where he has chosen to spend the rest of his life, fighting a war that most of the South has forgotten. By walking away from their royal titles, Moiraine and Lan have stripped away layers of political safety that kept them stationary. They has both realized that fulfilling their true purpose requires them to disappear from the world of kings and queens, becoming invisible to the very institutions they were born to lead.